Imagine your morning routine. You wake up, you walk to the kitchen, and you press a button or pour hot water over your favorite grounds. The smell fills the room. You take that first sip, and you feel the fog lift. For most of us, coffee is not just a drink, it is a ritual. It is the fuel that powers our day. But what if I told you that inside that dark, comforting liquid, there are invisible enemies hiding? What if the very cup you are drinking to wake up your brain is actually shutting down your kidneys? I am not talking about caffeine. Caffeine, when used correctly, is a wonderful medicine for the aging brain. I am talking about what else is in the cup. Recent studies on commercial coffee brands have found disturbing traces of industrial contaminants. We are talking about mycotoxins from mold, crushed insect parts, synthetic pesticides, and melted microplastics. For a 20-year-old, these trace toxins might be manageable, but for you, at 60, 70, or 80 years old, this daily chemical cocktail is a recipe for chronic inflammation. Today, we are going to perform a forensic audit of your coffee habit. I am going to reveal the specific types of coffee you must throw in the trash immediately. I will explain why instant coffee is destroying your gut and why those convenient plastic pods are messing with your hormones. But I will not leave you without a solution. I will also show you how to find the clean coffee that actually acts as a superfood for your longevity. But before we name the brands, you need to understand why this is urgent. You need to understand the concept of the senior filter. Your body is a filtration machine. Your liver and your kidneys are the filters that catch toxins and flush them out. When you are 20, your filters are brand new. They are efficient. You can eat junk, drink bad coffee, and your body handles it. But medical data proves that by the time you reach age 60, your kidney function, your glomerular filtration rate, naturally drops. Your liver's ability to process toxins slows down by nearly 40%. This is normal aging, but it means your margin for error is gone. When you drink dirty coffee every single morning, you are pouring toxins into a filter that is already clogged. The toxins do not leave, they accumulate. They settle in your fat tissue, in your brain, and in your joints. This is why you feel stiff. This is why you have brain fog. It is not just aging, it is accumulation. And the #1 accumulator found in cheap coffee is something that sounds like it belongs in a damp basement, not your breakfast table. It is mold. Now you might think, "Doctor, I would never drink moldy coffee. I would taste it." That is the dangerous myth. You cannot taste it and you cannot see it. We are talking about microscopic fungal byproducts called mycotoxins, specifically one called Ochratoxin A. This toxin is produced when coffee beans are stored in massive damp warehouses before being roasted. The roasting process kills the fungus, but it does not destroy the toxin. The poison survives the heat. It stays on the bean, it goes into the grinder, and it ends up in your mug. Why is Ochratoxin A so dangerous for seniors? Because it targets the kidneys. It is a known nephrotoxin. Studies have linked long-term exposure to kidney failure and even cancer. If you are drinking cheap, bulk-produced coffee, you are microdosing your kidneys with this poison every day. And the worst offender, the type of coffee with the highest levels of mold, is likely sitting in your pantry right now. The first category of coffee you must remove from your diet is instant coffee. I know it is convenient. I know it dissolves in seconds. But physiologically, it is the fast food of the coffee world. Instant coffee is almost exclusively made from Robusta beans.
As the name implies, these beans are robust, they are hardy, they are cheap. But they are cheap because they are grown at low altitudes in humid conditions where mold thrives. Unlike high-quality Arabica beans grown in the cool mountains, Robusta beans are often infested with pests and fungi. To make instant coffee, manufacturers take these low-quality beans, roast them until they are burnt, brew them into a thick sludge, and then spray dry them at high temperatures. This process concentrates acrylamide. Acrylamide is a chemical byproduct of burning food. It is a known neurotoxin and carcinogen. In fact, instant coffee has been found to contain 100% more acrylamide than fresh roasted coffee. When you drink a cup of instant, you are drinking a concentrated dose of mold toxins and burnt chemical residue. So, how do you know if your coffee is toxic? Your body tells you. You just need to listen. There is a difference between clean energy and toxic stimulation. When you drink clean, high-quality coffee, you should feel focused, calm, and alert for hours. The caffeine binds to your receptors gently. But when you drink dirty coffee, the reaction is different. You feel the jitters, your heart races, you might get a slight headache behind the eyes, and worst of all, you crash. 30 minutes later, you are more tired than before. You might also feel immediate acid reflux. This is not the caffeine's fault. This is your body rejecting the mold and the chemical acidity of a bad bean. If your coffee makes you feel sick, stop drinking it. But sometimes the poison is not in the bean. It is in the container. This brings us to the second invisible enemy, hot plastic. We live in the age of convenience. We love our single-serve machines, the little pods, the capsules. You pop one in, press a button, and you have coffee. But consider the physics of what is happening inside that machine. To brew coffee, water must be heated to nearly 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside that machine, a metal needle punctures a plastic cup, then boiling hot water is forced through that plastic cup at high pressure. Heat plus pressure plus plastic. This is the perfect recipe for leaching. You are not just extracting coffee flavor, you are extracting BPA, phthalates, and microplastics. These chemicals are what we call endocrine disruptors. For a senior, this is critical. These chemicals mimic estrogen in the body. They disrupt your thyroid function. They slow down your metabolism, and they have been linked to insulin resistance. So, dangerous category number 2 is the plastic pod, specifically the ones made of soft plastic with a foil lid. If you're drinking 3 or 4 of these a day, you are essentially drinking a plastic tea along with your caffeine. You might think you're safe because the box says BPA free. Do not be fooled. Manufacturers simply replace BPA with BPS or BPF, chemicals that are structurally almost identical and just as harmful. If you love the convenience of these machines, you do not have to throw the machine away, but you must stop using the disposable plastic cups. There's a simple fix. You can buy a reusable stainless steel filter cup. You fill it with your own clean ground coffee. It takes 10 seconds more, but it eliminates the plastic waste and it keeps the melted polymers out of your bloodstream. But even if you brew without plastic and you avoid instant coffee, you might still be drinking a cocktail of agricultural warfare.
Now, we move from the packaging to the farm. The third invisible enemy is pesticides. You might buy organic apples and organic spinach because you know they are sprayed. But did you know that coffee is one of the most chemically treated crops on the planet? Conventional coffee farms use massive amounts of synthetic fertilizers, insecticides, and herbicides, including glyphosate. The coffee cherry has a skin, but the chemicals soak into the soil and the root system. When you drink non-organic coffee, you are drinking a residue of these poisons.
This leads us to dangerous category number 3, the mass market canister. You know the ones, the giant plastic tubs sold in supermarkets for a bargain price. They sit on the shelf for months. They do not list a country of origin. They just say 100% coffee. This is a red flag. These blends are often a mix of the cheapest beans from Vietnam, Brazil, and Colombia, thrown together with zero traceability. Because there is no accountability, these beans often test highest for pesticide residue. Why does this matter for a senior? Because there is a frightening link between long-term pesticide exposure and neurodegenerative diseases. Studies have shown a correlation between farming chemicals and an increased risk of Parkinson's disease. Your brain is trying to protect its neurons. Do not assault them with glyphosate every morning. But sometimes the danger isn't what they spray on the bean, it is what they do to the bean. This brings us to invisible enemy number 4, acrylamide and the dark roast deception. Many famous coffee chains, the ones on every street corner, have convinced us that strong coffee means bitter coffee. They sell extra dark roast or French roast. They tell you it is bold. But chemically, it is just burnt. Large chains deliberately over-roast their beans. They char them until they are black and oily. Why? Because burning the bean masks the flavor of low-quality coffee. If the bean is moldy or sour, burning it hides the defect. It makes every cup taste the same, like charcoal. But this extreme heat creates acrylamide. We mentioned this with instant coffee, but it also happens in fresh coffee when it is torched. Acrylamide damages DNA. Furthermore, this charred coffee is highly acidic. It is chemically abrasive. If you drink a cup of dark roast chain coffee and 20 minutes later you feel a burning sensation in your chest or your stomach feels sour, that is your body crying for help. It is gastritis caused by the charcoal. You do not need to drink charcoal to get caffeine. You are paying a premium price for a damaged product that inflames your stomach lining and potentially damages your cells. So, we have ruled out the moldy instant, the plastic pods, the pesticide canisters, and the burnt chain coffee. That leaves very little on the shelf. You must be wondering, Doctor, does safe coffee even exist? The answer is yes. It is called medicinal grade coffee, and it has 3 specific requirements on the label. If you find a bag with these 3 words, you are not just drinking a beverage, you are drinking a powerful antioxidant elixir that protects your liver and sharpens your mind.
So how do we turn your morning habit into a health strategy? You need to become a coffee detective. Next time you are in the store, ignore the fancy colors on the bag. Turn it around. You are looking for 3 specific certifications. First, look for Certified Organic, specifically the USDA Organic Seal. This is your only guarantee that the beans were grown without synthetic pesticides, herbicides, or sewage sludge. It means the soil was clean. It means your brain is safe from glyphosate. Second, look for the word Arabica. Never drink a blend that says Robusta. Arabica beans are grown at higher altitudes where the air is cooler and drier. Mold cannot survive there. It is a naturally cleaner bean. And third, look for medium roast or sometimes light roast. Unlike the burnt charcoal of the big chains, medium roast preserves the chlorogenic acid. This is the magic compound in coffee. It is a powerful antioxidant that lowers blood sugar, burns fat, and protects the liver. When you burn the bean dark black, you destroy the chlorogenic acid. You kill the medicine. Ideally, if you can find a brand that says third-party tested for mycotoxins, buy it. These are specialty brands that lab test every batch to prove there is no mold. They cost a little more, but think of it as an investment in your kidney health. Now, once you have the right bean, treat it with respect. Stop using the plastic machine. Go back to the basics.
The safest way to brew coffee is using glass or stainless steel. A French press is perfect. It uses no paper filter, so you get the natural oils of the coffee, which are good for your brain. And it uses no plastic, just glass and metal. Or use a pour-over with a ceramic cone and an unbleached paper filter. It takes 3 minutes. In those 3 minutes, while the water drips, breathe, smell the aroma. That is part of the therapy. Do not rush the ritual. So, here's your challenge for the next 7 days. Go to your pantry. If you have a jar of instant coffee, throw it away. If you have plastic pods, put them aside. Go to the store and buy 1 bag of organic, medium roast, whole bean Arabica coffee. Grind it fresh if you can. Brew it in glass. Drink it black or with a splash of real cream. Pay attention to how you feel 20 minutes later. You will notice that the jitters are gone. The acid reflux is gone. Instead, you will feel a clean, sustained wave of mental clarity. You will not crash at noon. Your body knows the difference between a poison and a nutrient. Coffee was designed by nature to be a nutrient. Humans turned it into a commodity. Let's go back to nature. Protect your kidneys, protect your brain, and enjoy your cup of medicine. If this video saved your morning routine, please subscribe and share it with a friend who loves their coffee. Stay alert, stay clean, and I will see you in the next video.